FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
So the second question is, so are there any heroes in this story? And I understand that Paul Keating described somebody, I'm not sure who it was, as a shiver looking for a spine to run up. The internet is a wonderful thing for a visiting journalist. Well, in my telling of the story, Ben Bernanke is not that kind of guy. Ben Bernanke, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, a nice Jewish boy from a small town in South Carolina, whose dad and uncle ran a drugstore, who had very high college test scores, so high that everybody in town knew what they were. A kid who was plucked, who would have gone to the state university in South Carolina, North Carolina, except for an Only in America story, where an African-American guy, 8 years older than him, who had been sent to Harvard by a National Presbyterian Church program, had warm feelings towards the Bernanke family because Ben Bernanke's dad and uncle extended credit to black people in that town, and not every business did. And he convinced Ben Bernanke to go to Harvard, MIT, became an economist who studied essentially one thing. How did the Fed screw it up so badly so we had a Great Depression in the 1930s? And he believed, as Milton Friedman and Anna Schwartz, the great economists, did, that the Fed had tightened the spigot of credit too tight at just the wrong moment, caused a Great Depression, and caused the banks to fail. Bernanke said they were right on the first part, but the failure of the banks was an independent cause of the Great Depression. And when the banks failed, they clogged the channels of credit and the economy couldn't function. That was a very interesting intellectual exercise, which seemed to have absolutely no relevance to our time. He was like an economic paleontologist studying dinosaur bones, when one day on the horizon appears an economic Tyrannosaurus rex and an economic Brontosaurus, and with some hesitation and with some contrition, because he was part of the problem, he made decisions that led to this crisis, he resolved to do whatever it took to prevent a repeat of the Great Depression. And so if things got really bad in September 2008, well, the answer is they would have been worse had he not done the things he did. Cut interest rates to zero, expand the Fed's portfolio of loans from $800 billion on the day he took office to $2.3 trillion today. To make decisions that were quite tough, maybe some of them wrong, which institutions to save and which to fail. He filled a vacuum that exists because in our system of government, the President of the United States could respond if North Korea or Iran lobbed missiles at us. You know, Barack Obama has a code on his BlackBerry, LMN, launch missiles now. But there's no code on his BlackBerry that says we need to create $2 trillion to fight the worst threat to our financial system we've seen in my lifetime. And Ben Bernanke did that. And I think that is to his credit, and the reason he's very unpopular in the United States, the hero in my book, but unpopular in the streets, is that most people think he saved Wall Street and didn't save Main Street. Because Ben Bernanke's honest slogan, if he hung one on the wall of the Federal Reserve in Washington, is, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. You don't win elections with bumper stickers that say it could have been worse. And that's really the best you could do.